Hello, students. Now let's discuss the last lesson from INFOTECH English, that is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish by Steve Jobs. Unlike all the other lessons, it is not a novel or poem and anything else. It is an address, it is a speech to the students of Stanford University, which was given by the Steve Jobs in 2005. As we all know, he is the co founder, chairman, and CEO of Apple and a successful entrepreneur. And also, he was a pioneer of the personal computer revolution and co founder and chief executive of Pixar Animated Studios. Right? In his speech, he discussed majorly three things. First one is the first story, connecting the dots. Second one, his second story, love and loss. And his third story, about his death. Right? Now, what we understand is that this concept or this lesson, stay hungry and stay foolish, majorly deals with three issues. First one is connecting the dots, second one, love and loss, third one, and the last one, death. Right? Now we have seen the introduction part now. Now let's see the first one, which is connecting the dots. Right? Here Steve Jobs has a past. When he was a child, he was adopted by someone else. His parents, right, gave him for adoption. Okay? When he was giving his speech, he was sharing his experience, how he struggled in his childhood days, right? When he was about to school, right, the college was as expensive as Stanford, that all the savings of his parents were completing. What we understand here is that his actual parents, his biological parents, which means the parents who begot him, wanted to adopt him or give him for adoption to educated parents, but unfortunately educated parents were not available, right? So they gave him for adoption to poor parents. Okay, the parents, they were unable to educate him in a reputed educational institutions. So he struggled to pursue education when he was young. Right? All these things we can find here. After some days or some years, he left his education and he was almost he spent his time in other activities. Right? One day he observed throughout the campus a poster displayed that the college offered a best calligraphy instruction in the country. It is a turning point in his life, right? Calligraphy means the art of handwriting. Okay? Hence, it created interest in him that he attended the classes. He learnt about serif and sans serif typefaces. Serif and sans serif typefaces. I think we have never heard these terms, right? But when you go for Microsoft Word documents, right, you can find a lot of font styles. Okay, these serif and sans serif typefaces are nothing but they are various types of fonts. Okay, if we use only Calibri, the default font in MS Word. Okay, but when we type, we change the font styles, right? you know we can find number of font styles. Okay, so the font styles were initiated by Steve Jobs. Understand how much he is great? Though he did not have any practical application, after 10 years, when they were designing first Macintosh computer, they created a wonderful typography in connection of the dots. Right? In the Macintosh computers, he tried to use those, what so called font styles, right? He then trusted his gut, destiny, life, karma, and everything, and gave an optimistic note. Optimistic means positive. So, even though his childhood days were not good, were not supportive, were not encouraging for his better education, he didn't give up, right? He tried his best. So, that is how he got success, right? Now let's see the second story, love and loss. Okay, Steve and Was. Here we can find the two names. Was is his friend. Okay, they collaboratively started Apple in his parents' garage when he was 20. You see, at the age of 20, Steve Jobs, with the help of or with the support of his friend Was, right, started a company, okay, that is Apple, okay, where in a garage they worked together for 10 years. How many years? 10 years. A company from garage to a $2 billion company, over 4,000 employees he raised, right? You know, with dedication, out of perseverance, out of a strong desire, he began this company at the age of just 20, right? And we can say he was successful by looking at the 4,000 employees, right, and $2 billion company, right? How great it is. And then in this moment he was fired from job, that all his board of directors was together and he was alone. We can see it's like a cheating, obviously. All the board of directors became one, and they alienated him, and he was alone, and he was fired means he was thrown out, simply, right? He did not lose hope that whatever he does, he was interested, right? At the age of 20, with the help of his friend Was, he began a company. The company, got $2 billion, income, and there were 4,000 employees. Okay. By observing all these things, we can understand how much developed the company. But what happened ultimately? He was thrown out. But still, he didn't lose hope. That is the specialty of Steve Jobs, right? Hence, he started after 5 years a company named Next and another named Pixar. See, he started one more company. Whenever he loses, whenever he faces struggles and troubles, he doesn't get stop himself, right? He doesn't give up. He again came up with some other company after 5 years, right? Then the name of the company is Next and Pixar, right? At this moment, he fell in love with an amazing woman, and who later became a life partner to his life, right? He was happy that he didn't do Apple again. For everything, what is required is patience. He says, sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. This sentence, we should quote this as it is, right? In the exam. Okay, in the second story, what we can see, the loss, the utter loss he faced, at the age of 30. At the age of 20, actually, at the age of 20, he began a company, that is Apple, with the collaboration of his friend Was, okay? And he saw profits. The company reached, $2 billion, and there were 4,000 employees. But when all the board of directors became one, and they alienated him, he was simply fired. But he never gave up, right? He has never given up. That is the specialty, and he began another company after 5 years, that is Next and Pixar, right? Okay, and about his marriage, we can see he married an amazing woman who supported him, right? That is what we can understand here. Now, the last lesson, that is death. Here he read a quote when he was 17. If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you will most certainly be right. From the past 33 years, he remembers it. About a year past, he was diagnosed with cancer that it showed a tumor in pancreas. Okay, you may remember Stephen Hawking, right? At the age of 22, he was diagnosed with a terrible disease. Right, in the same way, he was diagnosed with cancer. It is to pancreas, but still, he didn't give up. Okay, he realized that he would face death. Later, when he was with the process of endoscope, it was diagnosed that tumor can be cured. Hence, he had undergone with the surgery and was fine of the moment. See, dear students, Steve Jobs, even though he was diagnosed with, it's a dangerous disease, cancer, he didn't give up, he didn't lose hope, and finally, he overcame the disease also, right? Okay, finally, he gave some sessions, right? In his speech, he gave three lessons. Along with the lessons, he gave so many sessions. Some of them were given for you. Time is limited, so never waste it living in someone else's life. He also suggests not to get influenced by others' thinking. Also, never let others' opinions draw your inner voice. Hence, he said that we should rule ourselves, have the courage to follow our heart and intuition. He shares an incident when he was young about an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog, which was one of the Bibles of his generation, which was created by Stewart Brand in late 1960s. What is it? That is the Whole Earth Catalog. It was completely before computers published with typewriters, scissors, and Polaroid cameras. It was idealistic and overflowing with neat and great tools. Stewart and his team focused distant issues of the whole Earth catalog, where on the back cover of the final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road. Beneath it were their last words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Right? The title, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," he found somewhere in the whole earth catalog. Okay? This phrase, he applied this phrase to this concept. Okay? The words spoke as if they were told to me. Therefore, he suggested to the Stanford students he wished the same quote for them to remember. What he read in the whole Earth catalog, he explained to the students of Stanford University, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." His words are so thought provoking, which reflects his struggles in his life, and his life, like a mirror, reflects his journey of success. Simply speaking, stay hungry, stay foolish. When we face hardships, right? When we face humiliations, when we face so many struggles, failures, right? We'll become stronger. Simply, he is conveying the message. Okay? And now, let us finish this lesson and a speech, that is Stay Hungry and Stay Foolish by Steve Jobs. Thank you.